Hi boys and girls, welcome to Everyday Math Lesson 2.9, Name Collections. The materials that you'll need today, notebook paper, pencil, math journal, and your template just for math box number 5. Let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do today is go over our math boxes from the previous lesson. So if you can open up your math journal to page 40, we will go over this page. If you're noticing that you have any mistakes, please fix those with your pencil and eraser. For question number 1, fill in the missing numbers. So they gave us 13, so I know 1 less is 12, 1 more is 14. Then I'm going to start counting by tens, so I had 23, 33, and 43. For question number 2, I can see where 60 is, and I can see I'm 2 spaces up, so 61, 62. So I should have circled or filled in the bubble for choice B, 62 degrees. For question 3, write the sum. 10 plus 7 is 17. 10 plus 2 is 12. 30 equals 10 plus 20. 51 equals 10 plus 41. And the unit that I chose today was bats. For question 4, write these numbers in order from smallest to largest. Circle the smallest number and draw a box around the largest number. So I have 156, 243, 256, and 326. Notice how I circled 156 and I put a box around 326. For question 5, put an X on the digit in the tens place in each number. So in my first number, I had my X over the 6 in 362. Then in 1209, my X was over the 0. In 1043, my X was over the 4. And in 596, my X was over the 9. For question number 6, what time is it? I can see that my time is 9:15. And then in 15 minutes, so I can count 5, 10, 15, my time would be 9:30. So double check to make sure that you have yours correct. If there's any mistakes, if you could fix those with your pencil and eraser. Then we'll put our math journal to the side for a little bit, and if we'll use either our whiteboard and marker or our notebook and pencil. If the speed is ever too fast, please pause as often as needed. So part of our lesson today is working on name collection boxes. And a name collection box is a place to write different names for the same number. So notice how this box has the tag 8. And look at the different ways that I was able to show 8. I can show it with number models, either adding or subtracting. I can show it with coins. Can show it, this is ocho in Spanish for 8. I can show it in tallies. I can make an array. Okay, so a lot of different ways that I can show it. So I want to practice one with you today. So let's say I have the number 5. And if you want to practice writing down some ways to make 5 on your whiteboard, and then press play when you're ready to hear my ways. All right, second graders. So I chose 2 plus 3. I wrote out the word 5. I have an N for nickel. I did 10 minus 5. And then I did 5 tallies. And there's lots of different ways for 5, so you maybe had some ways that I didn't come up with. So we're going to practice name collection boxes today in our math journal. So you can put your whiteboard to the side. And we have a lot of pages to look at today, but we'll first start looking at page 41. 41 looks like this. So I want to talk about the directions, and then I'll ask that you pause the video to solve and then press play when you're ready to check. But let me talk about the 4 boxes first. So in question number 1, if you're able to write 10 names for 12 inside the box, just like how we practiced for the number 5. For number 2, circle the names that do not belong in the box. So notice how our number tag is a 9, but there's going to be some in here that do not equal 9. and I want you to circle those that do not equal 9. For question 3, 3 names do not belong in the box. Circle them, and then write the name of the box on the tag. So you need to think about what do most of them have in common, and that's going to be your tag, and then circle the ones that do not fit. And then for number 4, you get to make up your own name collection box. So if you can write a number of that you pick, and then come up with 5 names for that number. So again, solve, and then press play when you're ready to check. All right, second graders. For question number 1, these are the names that I had to show 12. You can see I added with 6 plus 6 and 12 plus 0 and 8 plus 4. I subtracted with 15 minus 3, 20 minus 8. I used coins. I used a dime and 2 pennies. I also used coins with using 2 nickels and 2 pennies. I created an array with a 4 by 3. I used tallies, and I wrote out the number 12. Maybe some of my ways were similar to yours, but you also maybe had different ways, and that's great for number 1. For number 2, circle the names that do not belong. So if you look up at the top here, I can see 8 plus 0 did not work. 5 plus 4 plus 1 equals 10, which does not belong. I have 8 tallies, which is not enough. And 15 minus 7 is 8, which does not belong. So you should have had the same answers that I had for number 2. For number 3, they had 6 in common. So I can see most of these all equaled 6. But the ones that did not belong, 9 plus 3, 12 minus 8, and then my 7 tallies. Those are the ones I circled because those did not belong. Now for number 4, we're going to probably have very different answers. I chose to do the number 10, and you can see the different ways that I came up with 10. We'll work more on name collection boxes in future lessons, but we are going to move on to our next page. And our next page is pages 42 and 43, and this is talking about weight, kind of from our previous lesson. So what you're going to do is you're going to pretend that you want to put one more item in each of these pans. You're going to pick an item that would make the balances tilt the way they are shown in the picture. And then name each of the items that you put in the pan, and then put your weight below it. So look at the example up top. So we want oranges to be heavier, which was 8 ounces. And look at how gummy worms are going to be lighter because the scale's up in the air, which were 4 ounces. So can you pause the video and come up with four examples on the side to make your scales look like how they do in the picture? And then press play when you're ready to hear mine. All right, second graders. So for my first one, I chose lemons, which were 6 ounces, and walnuts, which were 3. I know that 6 ounces would be heavier than 3 ounces. Then for my second one, eggplant was 15 ounces and potatoes were 5 pounds. Well, a pound is going to be more than an ounce, and so 5 pounds is heavier than 15 ounces. Then I had salt, which was 1 pound, and flour, which was 2 pounds. And for my last one, I picked lemon and bananas, and those were each 6 ounces. And again, you maybe have very different answers than me, and that's okay, as long as your scales are showing the correct weight, the correct way. The last thing we're going to do today is look at our math boxes. So I'll go over the directions, then I'll ask that you complete the page on your own. When you are all done, take a picture and add that to Seesaw for your classroom teacher. We will go over this page in our next video. So for question number 1, how much money do you see? And then write your answer on the line. Number 2, draw the hands to show the time school begins. And I chose to show the time of 8:05. But if you would like to show, or if your school starts at a different time, you can show that time too. For number 3, write the fact family. For number 4, write the label and add 3 more names. So you need to figure out what are each of these numbers showing. For number 5, use your pattern block template to draw a trapezoid. And for number 6, how many books in all did Pedro read on Saturday and Sunday? Fill in the circle next to your best answer. All right, I will see you next time.